It is important to understand how self-discipline manifests biologically. Without understanding what causes, diminishes, or strengthens this trait, from a neurological perspective, we're unable to act to benefit it. It would be like trying to treat a sickness without understanding what caused it.
64,000 is the median number of words per book. Average person reads about 200 words per minute. Simple math will tell us that is one book in 320 minutes. To accomplish this in 7 days, numbers say you would have to read for 45 minutes a day. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that notification button, like, comment, and share. Enjoy.
Welcome to the Book of the Week series. Every week as I read another amazing title, I share it with the world. My name is Igor S.F. Walker, and today we look at The Science of Self-Discipline by Peter Hollins. The willpower, mental toughness, and self-control to resist temptation and achieve your goals. Live a disciplined life. So how about you slow down and relax? Reduce all that noise for just a bit. Make that choice and decide to listen. In this video, we discover how to scientifically engineer a disciplined existence. Become relentless and never give up. Get whatever you want in your life. Self-discipline is the missing piece. Just intention is not enough. Stick around till the end. I will share with you some tools I do have and use that will help you tremendously in this game of life. Discover a way to find out what actually motivates you. What innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. I will share some tools to improve your self-awareness, your social awareness, your self-management and relationship management. Jim Rohn once said, we must all suffer one of two things, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Throughout your life, you can make a choice as to how you do suffer. Would you rather struggle through the discomfort of shaping your willpower and behavior towards worthwhile ends, or endure the sting of dreams left unrealized because you chose self-indulgence over restraint? Discipline is usually what keeps you from reaching what you really want. Practicing it entails having to bear a certain level of pain. So, suffering the consequences of a life without it. For whatever goal you want to achieve, there is discomfort along the path. Self-discipline drives through this discomfort and allows you to achieve and attain. It is an essential component of mastery. Nothing great is ever accomplished without it. Having self-discipline and willpower requires the ability to do difficult or unpleasant things, because those things are better for your well-being in the long run. Whatever it is that you need to do in order to accomplish your goals and to achieve personal fulfillment, discipline will be a crucial skill in that process. What we can say confidently is that wherever you began, it is possible to change and improve your self-discipline. Kurt Stern's rubber band hypothesis regarding the age-old nature versus nurture debate can actually be applied here. People are endowed with differing sizes of rubber bands, i.e. genetic predispositions, to start with, and then environmental forces can stretch those rubber bands in different ways. Even if the genetic lottery gave you less than ideal prefrontal cortex, you actually can structure your environment in such a way as to stretch what you have been given and improve your self-discipline. As with any skill, the more you practice being disciplined, the better you become at it. Now, focus is one of the main pillars of self-discipline. A person who lacks this ability is almost certainly one who will lack discipline. Focus itself is dependent on something that neuroscientists call executive functions. The 3 executive functions we are most concerned with when it comes to being disciplined are working memory, impulse control, and cognitive flexibility and adaptability. It is important to understand that willpower and self-discipline are not static quantities that you can always maintain at the same level in the face of constant temptation. They're more similar to gas in a tank, an inexhaustible resource. Using your willpower will deplete it, just the same as lifting weights would fatigue your muscles. See, the brain of a person who resists a cookie once is different from a person who has had to resist a cookie 10 times. In other words, rather than having to expend your psychological energy straining to resist enticements, you can actually save yourself the trouble and altogether skip the situations that offer these temptations in the first place. It's not surprising that self-discipline has a biological basis. Imaging studies have demonstrated that certain brain regions are actually activated during decision making related to the exercise of self-discipline. One region, the ventral medial prefrontal cortex, has been found to play a role in deciding whether to take immediate reward or delay gratification. Understanding the biological underpinnings of self-control is actually a good thing because it gives you a blueprint to deal with your own self-discipline. You can increase it. You can put yourself in situations to conserve it. Knowing the exact outcome you actually want is an essential part of having self-discipline. See, you must be able to name it, describe it, and feel it. Otherwise, you're just forcing yourself into discomfort with this vague idea that you should be doing something. It is impossible to maintain discipline without having a clear idea of what you want to actually accomplish. It can be shocking to learn how much we actually misunderstand what motivates us. For instance, what do you believe motivates you in your job? You actually might be sorely mistaken. Psychologists Teresa Embile and Stephen Kramer actually illustrated our cluelessness in that specific regard. Employers believe that their employees were most motivated by making money, getting bonuses, and earning promotions. People were more incentivized to work, actually, by the feeling of making consistent progress towards a meaningful goal. A feeling that they were improving, getting better, and generally growing was a stronger driver of employee motivation than money or higher status. On one hand, the study proves that money is a powerful short-term motivator. It's the lowest hanging fruit, the most obvious cure for our problems and our unhappiness. But at a certain point, money almost ceases to matter. On the other hand, it seems that being invested in accomplishing a meaningful goal is the most important thing. In addition, the feelings of progress, of investment, they have since come up with 3 main categories of motivation: autonomy, mastery, and purpose. The second motivator, mastery, refers to our innate urge to get better at things. And then there's purpose, the belief or intention that we can have an impact on the world. Although there are many types, many flavors of your personal motivators, which will all ultimately fall into these basic categories. Extrinsic motivation refers to that which depends on other people, environmental factors, or social factors. Intrinsic motivation, meanwhile, is dependent on the self and is based mostly on personal needs and wants. Both kinds of motivation can actually be utilized effectively, but it is very important to be honest in your own assessment of which category your various motivations do fall into. See, the biggest extrinsic motivation is how we are perceived by others. Buddhist monks can dedicate immense amounts of their lives to learning how to not act as a result of their ego, pride, insecurities, or desire for power. But those things can be the driving forces behind success in the material world. On a similar note, we also seek acceptance from our peers. And we may even conform socially to actually do so. See, self-discipline is important, but so is having proper motivation to make self-discipline easier to practice and to maintain. When you do have a deeper understanding of the purpose behind your actions and a clear vision of what you do want to achieve, then it becomes second nature for you to find the fuel to keep up your efforts and persist until you reach your goal. What you think might motivate you, you may actually not in reality be motivated by that thing. So it is important to be honest with yourself. Studies have consistently shown material gains, making money, receiving bonuses, for instance, to be poor motivators. Instead, personal feeling of progress, autonomy, mastery, and purpose are far more effective motivators to attach yourself to. The 40% rule is pretty straightforward. It says that when an individual's mind begins telling them that they are physically or emotionally maxed out, in reality, they have only pushed themselves to about 40% of their capacity. In other words, they could endure 60% more if only they believed that they were capable of it. When you think you have reached your limits, you're not even close. And whether you can keep going or not depends on if you believe it. It's quite a feat to feel that you have reached your limits and then say to yourself, well, you're only 40% done. It's actually an acceptance of pain and suffering. Believing that you can do more will make it true. It enables you to go well beyond the limits that you have constructed for yourself in your own mind. This embodies self-discipline in a nutshell. It's really a matter of how much pain you can stomach. And most of us will only bend and never break. In the New Directions in Goal Settings Theory, Edwin Gillock and P. Layton notably stated, so long as the person is committed to the goal, has the requisite ability to attain it, and thus not have conflicting goals, there is a positive linear relationship between goal difficulty and task performance. So to put it another way, setting challenging but realistic goals increases our performances in achieving those goals. Modest goals do not inspire us in the same way as more difficult ones do, which results in an insufficient effort to actually achieve them. See, if you sit in a car for only 10 minutes, you won't really prepare for the ride. You may not even buckle your seatbelt up. But how would you prepare for the car ride differently if you knew it was going to be 100 minutes long? You would prepare music playlists, bring some snacks, fill up the gas tank, and most certainly you would wear your seatbelt. The key is to stop selling yourself short. Believe that you are capable of more than what you first thought. Plan to achieve more. then execute that plan with discipline and with effort. It is so common to set mediocre expectations of ourselves so that when we fail, it's not such a letdown. And if you aren't willing to go after more, you will always be stuck in mediocrity. We relentlessly underestimate how difficult it is to break our bad habits and picture ourselves sailing to adversity as we lived in an ideal world with no temptations. When we give ourselves too much false hope, we tend to fail more often than not, but frequently we become more solidified in the behavior we actually wish to alter. See, thinking about discipline does not make you disciplined, as much as we may wish for it. Discipline only happens through consistent action. You may not feel ready for 2 miles, but you think you can probably do it, and that first step is always the most important one. Simply wanting to be self-disciplined is not enough to build a habit. Often you're surrounded by factors that drain your self-discipline and make it all the more difficult for you to stay on track towards your goals. Recognizing your discipline drainers is the first step towards a more fruitful pursuit of self-discipline. Urges. They're defined as impulses to engage in a habitual behavior or past addiction. They are frequently manifested in physical sensations in the body, not just in the thoughts. The exercise that most effectively increases your baseline level of willpower is actually leaving your comfort zone. That involves pushing yourself to regularly do things that you're not completely secure in doing, so that you become familiar with the feeling of discomfort itself. Leaving your comfort zone is important because it teaches you that the things you do fear aren't actually as bad as they might seem. Each time you learn that lesson in some small way, your tolerance for discomfort and your willpower, they both increase. You do not need to be uncomfortable in your daily life. Being familiar with the feeling sure does help you when you face actual adversity. You can even create anxiety and uncertainty in your own life on purpose, so they are controlled and manageable, to show yourself that you are capable of handling these feelings. Discipline is inherently uncomfortable. So straightening your relationship with uncomfort is the best way to improve your self-discipline. If you want to maximize all the positive aspects of your life, you can start with facing your fears and then choosing to be uncomfortable. One of the most effective ways to practice discomfort is urge surfing, which has been shown to be more useful than trying to actively fight urges. Battling your urges is usually counterproductive, as that process tends to strengthen them and actually prolong the time you spend trying to get rid of them. Instead, urge surfing enables you to ride the wave of the urge without judgment. This allows this urge to pass. Engage in activities that will ease you into getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. Practice rejection therapy, or simply put yourself in uncomfortable situations that will show you that you can control and manage the anxiety and these other negative feelings you do experience. Testing and depleting your willpower when it is not necessary should be avoided as much as possible. Designing the optimal environment is more than half the battle. The environments you create for yourself, they have a huge impact on your self-discipline, because they can either constantly drain it or they can help conserve it and exercise it. Make your environment as distraction-free as possible. When you're constantly being bombarded by distractions, you need to draw on your willpower resources to resist them. More than our physical environment, we are perhaps most influenced by the relationships and the company we keep. Contrary to most of us prefer to believe that we are independent individuals who are impervious to external pressures and make decisions on our own, we are often significantly influenced by the people around us in the decisions we do make. Our social circle informs us as to what is acceptable and can either support us or hold us back. Delaying gratification, the act of choosing long-term gains over short-term pleasure, even though it requires tolerating unpleasant feelings, is a core skill in the practice of self-discipline. To lead a disciplined life, we have to be willing to put off pleasurable activities and positive experiences in order to first complete the tasks you need to do in order to reach your goals. When you choose to get the hard bits out of the way first, you achieve greater gains in the end and become better able to guiltlessly enjoy the rewards waiting for you. Sometimes, trying to be disciplined is overwhelmingly difficult. It can make you want to break down, tear your hair out at the brink of frustration or exhaustion. Luckily, there is a set of questions you can ask yourself to get back on track. The questions are intended to return your focus to your goals and to your pursuits, the things that motivate you to be disciplined in the first place. They might also shed light on your real reason for wanting to persist or wanting to quit, which can illuminate the right path to take. Question number 1. Do I want to be a disciplined person or not? Question number 2, am I doing the right thing or simply what is easy? Question number 3, these are the vegetables. So what am I getting for dessert? Essentially, you're being disciplined and taking on discomfort now so that you can experience some personal benefit in the future. The disciplined behavior is the vegetables and the payoff is the dessert. It is easy to falter if you forget what your payoff is. Finally, question number 4. If we can accomplish the most difficult of tasks, thinking about our thinking, we can more successfully tame our impulses and act with discipline. So question is, am I being self-aware? The path of self-discipline is riddled with tempting detours, rough patches, frustrating roadblocks. You will need tools to help you weather such challenges in the face of any temptation, distraction, or impulse. There is a 4-pronged tool you can use to fortify your self-discipline. 4 illuminating questions you need to ask immediately. Ask yourself. Self-discipline requires self-awareness. If you fail to recognize how you are making excuses for your laziness or what motivations might push you to act, then you might find the practice of self-discipline all that much harder. Your ability to be self-disciplined has a lot to do with your mindset and the way you approach life. With the right frame of mind, you can face any obstacle, any task, any challenge that life actually throws at you with a disciplined approach. Motivation is nice to have. It is, however, often emotional, temporary, and exhaustible. The repetitive actions required to continuously strive towards goals often deplete motivation, and boredom soon comes to cut your emotional ties to your actual vision. When it comes to maintaining self-discipline, motivation is not enough. Building solid habits is essential if you are to consistently practice self-discipline and get optimum results in the long term. How successful you are able to stick to your habits is in part influenced by Joseph Greeny's 6 factors of influence. These factors, which touch on the individual, societal, and environmental levels, are: number 1, personal motivation; number 2, personal ability; number 3, social motivation; number 4, social ability; number 5, structural motivation; and number 6, structural ability. These are the factors you must take into account and manage them as you try to strengthen your self-discipline and change your behavior. See to it that your action plans are based on your personal motivation and personal ability, while also taking into the account social and environmental influences. And there you have it, the science of self-discipline. Now, please do help out. You will help out because it is easy. It is easy. You will simply like this video so more people can enjoy it. You will share it too. You will spread the word. You will leave your comment and you will share your thoughts. You will subscribe to my channel and you will stay up to date. And the link to this book is in the description below, so you will buy it. You will read and you will never stop learning, especially learning about yourself and nature. So you will gift yourself by taking the free human needs test on my website, and you will find out what actually motivates you. What innate human need is driving all of your decisions and your behavior. And because you do feel you are ready to improve your self-awareness, your social awareness, your self-management, and your relationship management even further, you will check out my Master of Life Awareness program. All the links are in the description below. Thank you. Love and respect.